What is up, guys? We're back here with another Injustice 2 video, and today I'm gonna be doing a video that I've seen a few people talk about it, and the big question of legendary gear is it worth it? So today I'm gonna be going through every single hero and describing their perks and how it looks and stuff, and basically explaining if that hero's legendary gear is worth it. So as always, please leave a like on this video and subscribe for more content. So let's get into it. So right now I don't have any legendary gear, but I'm working on Bane, and I'm pretty close. Not too hard. I don't think it's gonna take a while as rare better gear. If I put my AI in endless like all day, I only get like 30 or 40 pieces of gear. If I do it like all day, like maybe 10 hours of the day, which is a lot of time. But I usually only play like this game for 6 hours of the day, and I've been grinding probably for the last 6 days, last week. But that's my progress. But I'm gonna go through every single hero. There's some I don't know the perks, so I'll have to I have it on my iPad, so I'll just look it up. But most of them I know, and I don't have anything I can pull up like show you any images how they look. But I'm mostly gonna be talking about is the augment or the perk good enough, not really how it looks. Because to be honest, I think they all look good except like Firestorms. Really, I mean, I don't think Firestorms looks that good, or Deadshot. But let's get into it. First, we're gonna start off with Atrocitus right here. And do I think it is worth it or not? First off, I'm gonna say it looks pretty dope, but the perk, people, when you first see it, you're gonna think it is the best thing ever for Atrocitus players. The perk is Dexter is out the whole match, which sounds like overpowered and it's really, really good. The thing is, one move you do, so let's say you like shoot the little projectile or you do the little shield, it basically takes down your whole thing and you have to wait for it to charge up again. So that's why I kind of don't think it's worth it, because like normally you can just have Atrocitus out and you could like spam the little projectiles, probably get like 5 in there. And you can only get 5 in there in like one match maybe, if you're doing good enough. So I honestly don't think Atrocitus is multiverse is like really worth it. It depends on if you like Atrocitus or not, but in my opinion, Atrocitus is not worth it. Next, I'm moving on to Bane, and I'm gonna tell you straight up, Bane, even though I'm going for Bane, I don't think he's worth it. And I say this because, just, it's not that, the reason why I'm going for it, because I really enjoy Bane, and I just love Bane in this game, and I think his gear looks really dope. So, look-wise, I think it looks really cool, but, being honest, the perk, you're probably gonna think is really cool like Atrocitus, but there's always a downside for these perks. So for this augment for Bane, basically he has no damage debuffs when his venom wears off. So that sounds really good, because usually like when your venom wears off, like you don't do as much damage and more damage done to you, and none of that happens. But depending on what level of venom you have, it takes away part of your health, and at level 3 it takes away like 300, 400 health or something. It's ridiculous. So if you play this in like competitive online, or you don't really use your venom, like I don't really use my venom that much, but I don't think Bane's is probably worth it, the augment wise, but I'm still getting it. But also another thing that I saw somebody like talk about is comeback, because Bane, he has a whole bunch of comeback like chances and possibilities to come back with his venom. And let's say you're like critical and use your venom, and you can come back a whole bunch of times with Bane. There's so many times you can come back with that venom and get in that extra damage. But let's say you drop a combo or something, you just lose health. So you're losing health instead of damage, basically. That's Bane for you. Now we got Batman. Batman, I'm gonna say is not worth it, because his perk or augment is pretty bad. It doesn't really do anything that's gonna help you. Basically, he can triple jump forwards and away. Basically, he can jump backwards and he can glide like twice. So I don't think it's worth it because I don't think it's really going to help you at all. Maybe a little bit maneuvering, but I don't think that's going to be good at all. To be honest, I don't think it looks that cool. That's just my opinion, so don't hate on me. All of these are my opinions if I think it's worth it. So I'm going to say Batman is not worth it. And next we got Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle, I'm going to say, I don't know. I'm going to say I think he probably is worth it for some players and not worth it for some. I think Blue Beetle's worth it if I were to get it. So let's get into the perks. First of all, it looks really dope, just like any Blue Beetle Scarab. But basically, his augment is his little character power where he can pull out the little blades instead of like his like normal moves, and he can have the blades. Basically, that is out the entire match, which is pretty good because then you don't have to switch to anything. But then it's like, how am I gonna use my little cannon thing? Now pressing the character power or using it, you'll fire the energy cannon, and basically that is how you fire the cannon. And mostly you have the blades out, which is, the blades are really good and always good to use, but sometimes it makes you not have them out, and it's good that you can have the blades out whenever you like. I think Blue Beetle's gear is worth it. Next we got Cheetah. So Cheetah, I'm gonna say is definitely worth it. Her perk is really good. Basically, Cheetah has a chance to make her opponent bleed from any claw attacks, just any claw attacks. And basically, when she bleeds, the claw attacks do damage over time, and that can be just so helpful. It makes Cheetah way more dangerous, and the gear looks pretty dope. So I'm just gonna say Cheetah is definitely worth it. Definitely one of the top tier things. Right, next we got Swamp Thing, who's kind of interesting. So I really enjoy Swamp Thing. I don't have him like level 20 or anything, so I don't play him that much, but he's super fun character. And I'm gonna tell you, Swamp Things I think is worth it. For Swamp Thing, basically, he gets an air dash. So that's just so good for Swamp Thing, because he's kind of a slow hero and he can't get around quick, and to have that air dash, it helps him out so much, and sometimes just it helps him out, and it's really good for Swamp Thing. And I'm gonna say Swamp Thing's piece of legendary gear is worth it. Definitely worth it in my opinion. And it looks huge. You just have this big gigantic like club. Really dope. Alright, next we got Wonder Woman, and I'm gonna say Wonder Woman is definitely worth it. Wonder Woman's gear just looks amazing. If you haven't seen like where they showed off the legendary gear in the live stream, they had the little picture. So just like day one when they announced legendary gear, Wonder Woman's looked dope. But the perk is even more amazing. So basically, Wonder Woman's character power, she can activate like a buff based on like abilities. There's a bunch of different ones with abilities, so she can activate her buff with her character power. Basically, with this, it gives her 2 random buffs instead of 1. So the buffs are random, but they're two of them. It's just 2 buffs. That's like super good. So you could have like things like Hermes, and you can like air dash and stuff, and then you can have the lasso one. Just can be super good. But that's all for the first page. Now we will go to the next page. So we're gonna start with Black Adam. Black Adam, I'm gonna say, is not worth it, and I'll tell you why. So first of all, his gear is amazing. So if you like the looks, definitely get it. It looks super dope. It's like he has rocks or meteorites, whatever you want to call them, just floating like orbs. It's super cool. But his perk is good at some cases, but not that good because you're not going to be using it that much. So basically, his thing is Lightning Storm, which is the lightning hand things where he shoots lightning out of his hands, and the meter burn ones drain super meter from his opponent. So it just depends on how you play with Black Adam, but from how much I've played with Black Adam, I never use that move unless I ended off in a combo sometimes, but I barely use it, and people aren't going to be using it that much. But like being able to take meter is really good, but from that move, I don't think that's a good move. I don't I don't think people really use that move that much. I don't think it's a good move for Black Adam. So saying that, I don't think it's worth it. Next we got Brainiac. So Brainiac, I'm gonna say it's worth it. So Brainiac's gear is one of the best looking ones, I think. It just looks super cool. And then what he gets basically is now he can meter burn his beta strike and his beta bomb. And if he meter burns those beta attacks, he can summon an additional one. So it's just really good with his beta stuff. I don't really play Brainiac, so I don't really know what it's talking about, but I just know it's really good, and I'm gonna say Brainiac is worth it. So next we got Catwoman, and right off the bat, I'm gonna say Catwoman is worth it. Catwoman, the gear looks so cool. It's not that hard of a multiverse. The only hard thing is 3,000 minutes. That's so much. But it used to be 7,000 minutes and 5,000 minutes, so you should be happy. But that her perk is really good. Basically, instead of her perk like getting random scratches, she gains her scratches, her cat scratches, by either parrying moves or connecting her whip attacks. This is so good. You can get scratches whenever you need to. With all the combos with the things jump too, with the whip attack and then like just being able to parry, you can get your trait in like 20 seconds, maybe 30. When normally you can only maybe get it a couple times a game. You can probably get it like 5 times if you're doing good enough. So it's definitely really good. So Catwoman is definitely worth it. Deadshot, not worth it at all. Not worth it. Do not get Deadshot unless you absolutely love him. His argument isn't anything good. His gun looks like any other ordinary gun he has, pretty much. Basically, when you're in an online match or a multiverse match, Deadshot will receive a contract to apprehend his opponent. If he finishes the match with a gunshot, he will successfully complete the contract and receives a bonus reward. So I don't know what the bonus reward is, but it's probably credits or a mother box, so I don't think it's worth it unless you're trying to get that stuff, but it's just an unnecessary perk. Doesn't do anything to help Deadshot, but I don't think Deadshot needs anything to like improve. Deadshot's just overpowered, but his gear is not worth it at all. Alright, next we got Flash, who I'm gonna say is definitely worth it. His gear is just so cool. Has the little bright like ends on his little flash wings, and then his perk can be pretty good. So now his Speed Zone character power, basically he gets 3 different versions of it, and that can be so good because he gets his normal like kind of medium length one, and then he has a short length and a long length. People say the short length isn't good, but it's definitely good. I found it in situations of what I've seen people use it. A good thing I've used, like, I use my character power when I have my super, and then it slows down their block, and sometimes you can't block it. Well, maybe you don't want your character power to recharge faster. You can just use a short one and maybe hit off the super. Just suggestions. You can do a little, you can start off your combo with one that just, people don't really think the short one's that good, but the long one's definitely good because it improves by probably like 2 seconds from the normal one, I think. And you can just have way more flashy combos and just all kinds of stuff, so definitely worth it. So next we got Scarecrow. And Scarecrow, I'm gonna say is worth it. And basically, his Traumatize attack can be meter burned. And basically meter burning it, if you hit it, if you're playing online, it messes up, like, it screws up their control, so like, they move forward, it goes backwards, they try pressing like heavy attack, it does like a light attack or that kind of stuff. And then it does that for a short time, and then meter burning Traumatize in the multiverse will prevent any opponents from using special moves for a short time. So Scarecrow, I'm gonna say is worth it. It looks cool, but definitely it's worth it, even more worth it now, because they made a change where his meter burn Traumatize is unblockable. Yep, you heard me, unblockable. It's so good. I just think it's gonna be so handy in some situations, and I think it's pretty good. So next we have Supergirl. Supergirl, her perk. Alright, I'm gonna say Supergirl is worth it. I don't think the looks look good at all. I think they're pretty, it doesn't look that good, but the perk is pretty good. Basically, Supergirl can rapidly fire her lasers. I think that's pretty good. And then also, I'm talking about the main ability here, but she has like, each one has like a little side ability too. Like, but Supergirl, she has something for Sunstone. I don't have it on here, but it just improves her damage and health. It's really, really good. So I'm gonna say Supergirl is worth it. So next, we're gonna work our way to page 3, and I'm gonna talk about this. So hold on, I need to get Dr. Fate up here because I don't know what his perk is. Let's talk about Captain Cold. So basically, Captain Cold, I'm gonna say is definitely worth it. Basically, well, his gun looks like it's just frozen. It just looks super cool, and his perk is really, really good. Basically, his perk is his character power, where he charges up to 3 different levels. Basically, it goes super fast, like double the fast, like it's just hecka fast. But it depletes over time, which kind of sucks, but it's really good. I don't really use, from when I play Captain Cold, I don't use his 3rd character power that much. I usually use his little like ice armor, and I use the 2nd one where it like goes right across the map and freezes them if they stay in long enough. I think if you can get those just quick enough, like you can just control the match. I think it's definitely worth it. Captain Cold is worth it. Alright, next we are at Cyborg. So Cyborg, nobody gives him that much love, so, and I feel like his thing is pretty decent, so I think Cyborg's gear is worth it. First of all, I think it looks pretty dope. I mean, people are gonna disagree and say, well, it's Cyborg, like, nobody likes Cyborg. I think Cyborg's pretty dope, so, especially after I just watched the Justice League movie yesterday, and I feel like Cyborg, nobody gives him much love, and I like Cyborg, he's cool. But his perk is really, really good. Basically, if he shoots his little cannon thing, it says dark matter will come, and it will basically has a random chance to like stun somebody. Yep, stun somebody. Or is it meter burn? I think it's a random chance, or it's if you meter burn it, it stuns somebody. Basically, if it stuns somebody with Cyborg, it's really helpful. Definitely good. Cyborg is worth it. Next, we got Dr. Fate, and I'm gonna say Dr. Fate is not worth it. I don't think it looks that cool. You can hate on me, but I don't think it looks that cool. Basically, his perk is after connecting a glyph of Osiris or the glyph of Anubis, basically there's a chance that Dr. Fate will receive one of 3 different buffs. Basically, you get a damage buff, damage reduction, or a free floating Ankh. I don't know. I think the perk can come in handy sometimes, but I don't think it's gonna do too much where it's gonna help him out. I think the damage reduction can, but a free floating Ankh, if those are just the little floating little crosses in his like head that by his head that doesn't really do anything. I'm gonna change my mind and say Dr. Fate is worth it. I don't know. I just think that's I don't know. I think it's not that bad actually, but that's Dr. Fate. Now we got Firestorm. Firestorm, I'm gonna say, is worth it, but it's not really that good. I'm gonna say it's worth it, but basically for Firestorm, his Matrix doesn't look cool at all, but that's like every single one he has. But basically, when somebody's juggling a combo on him, he has a chance to evaporate from the combo, and basically it's like an air escape, but the air escape only costs 1 bar of meter, so it's gonna be really, really good in some situations. So definitely not too bad. So I'm gonna give Firestorm a thumbs up and say it is worth it. So next we have a Green Arrow. So Green Arrow, I'm gonna say, I gotta decide. I don't know. Alright, his thing looks pretty cool, but I'm gonna say it's worth it. Basically his character power is he receives 3 new arrow types in his character power. 3 new types, and I'll tell you what type. So basically, he has the this thing called Boomstick, which is 3 explosive arrows, and then he has a thing called Nighty Night, which is a sleeping gas arrow, which like stuns your opponent, makes him go to sleep. And then he has Robin Hood, which is he steals super meter. So it's just a whole bunch of like really good new arrows. I think it's probably worth it. Your nose is worth it. Next we got Poison Ivy, who I'm gonna say is worth it. And people aren't gonna hate on me from Atrocitus, because basically it's the same thing as Atrocitus. Basically, Poison Ivy, just like Atrocitus, she has Deadly Nightshade out the whole match, but I think it's a little different because you can only do 1 move with Atrocitus, same with Poison Ivy, but when you usually have her perk with Nightshade, he shoots randomly and you can't control it. Now you can control it and shoot whenever you want, which I think can start new combos and do all kinds of stuff with Poison Ivy, and I think that's really helpful. And she can do the little underground thing. Poison Ivy, I don't know what the move's called, but Poison Ivy can definitely be very, very good with this legendary gear, I think. So I'm gonna say that Poison Ivy is worth it. And last but not least, we got Robin, who I'm gonna say hands down worth it. Robin is one of my favorite heroes in the game, and he has this huge sword. This looks like some demon-looking sword. It's super cool. So look-wise, it's amazing. His character powers, or his augment, is really good because basically his super move is changed where he uses the Redbird cycle, and it is completely unblockable. So just an unblockable super move is always good, like the Superman one, and it's really good how it's just, and it doesn't hurt anything. Like, you can have it equipped. It's not like, even if you don't think it's gonna be that good, it's not gonna hurt because it looks cool. And I think it has a little side perk, so it's not gonna be that bad. And Robin is really dependent on meter sometimes, so that's the only bad part. It just depends if you can even save up to a super move, but if you can, it's unblockable, and it does basically a whole bunch of damage like his normal super move. So I'm gonna say Robin is worth it. So on this list, pretty much everybody was worth it except Atrocitus, Bane, Batman, Deadshot was not worth it. Black Adam, I don't think Black Adam was worth it. Supergirl, I don't know if she was worth it. And then, yeah, pretty much almost all of them are worth it. There's a few that aren't too much worth it. There's a lot I was debating about, but that's my honest opinion on these legendary pieces of gear. So if you have any other opinions you'd like to share with me, like if you don't agree with me and say something, be free to say something in the comments. Just don't be rude or anything about it. Just inform me, like, hey, you left this out, Dr. Fate's or Scarecrow's thing is not worth it, because this could happen. Just like that. Like, that's like the type of stuff I would like to see in the comments. So we're gonna end it off here. Hope you guys enjoyed this special video on Injustice of saying, is the legendary gear worth it? And beat down every single piece of legendary gear I think is worth it. It takes a whole bunch of grinding and just looks cool, and you can just brag to everybody. So it's a fun time to get the legendary gear, no matter what character it is. But saying that, I'm gonna end it off here, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So peace out and have a good day. Bye.